DTI fam, what's good, baby? Daily drive-by. I'm excited for this one because it's an extension of last week. Last week we talked about the importance of a sleep routine, going to bed at the same time every single night and waking up around the same time every single morning to be able to establish some sort of routine. And so now we can take that a step further because, again, I said I didn't want to give you all my routines and habits that I have in place in that video because I want them to be able to be digest. I want you guys to implement them in your life, and hopefully as I talk about what my habits are, it will make you guys evaluate life a little bit differently to create more structure around it, but more importantly, to form better habits, because we all have piss poor habits that we're very good at, and it's the ones that we need to stay consistent that tend to be the hardest ones because we make up every excuse on why we don't have to do something when we need to. We think that we deserve some gratification, some praise, some award for doing something for a week, for doing it for 14 days, for doing it for a month. But we don't step back and look at life on how long did it take me to get to this point? Like, when did I start having these bad thoughts? When did I start gaining all this weight? When did I get out of my relationship? When did I start losing friends? Like, you formed habits that you didn't even realize over the days, weeks, and months, maybe even years, to get you to where you are now. And so what's important is getting those new habits in place, establishing them that fit into your lifestyle to then get the wheels turning, get the momentum going, so that way you stay on track, you stay dialed, and you don't have to worry about veering off too much no matter what life throws at you. So the next habit that I want to talk about that I love is now the morning routine. So again, we talked about going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, but what do you do when you wake up? Are you waking up and rolling over and, checking your phone? Are you waking up, rolling over, checking your phone, making a cup of coffee, then going to sit at your desk? Are you waking up before you even put a shirt on to go and sit at your desk before you start work? Do you brush your teeth before you even start work? Ask yourself, what do you do from the time you wake up to the time you start work? Majority of people say they don't have enough time to work out because they're so busy, that life is so crazy that they don't have time to go to the gym. Okay, that's fine. Let's do it at home. I don't have time to do it at home either. Life is too busy. Most people say that they can't work on their dreams because they're so busy and work takes up so much time. And so how can anybody ever start anything they want because they got all these other things that they have to do? The kids are crying. I have to go to work. I got to cook dinner. Where can I have time? Blah, blah, blah. Your morning routine. One of the pivotal and central elements to my life, one of the key foundations in my life that I have established is waking up at 5 a.m. Don't turn this off. Do not turn this off. I know you guys hear this and roll your eyes like, oh, of course, everybody says wake up at 5 o'clock, blah, blah, blah. Pick the time that works for you. But if you start work at 8, don't fucking roll out of bed at 7:55 and go to work. Start slow, people. Everything doesn't need to go from 0 to 100. Everything does not need to go from 0 to 100. And what I mean is, if you are waking up at 8 o'clock right now and you're like dreading waking up earlier, wake up at 7:30. Well, what am I going to do with that extra half hour? Start building the foundation that you can then build and scale and grow from. So if you're waking up at 8 and going straight to work, wake up at 7:30 and sit outside and drink your cup of coffee for 15 minutes. Get some fresh air, get the sunlight that's coming up. If you're waking up at 7:30, wake up at 7. Incremental things. And then once that becomes easy, because for a while you're retraining your body. Your body is used to waking up at 8 o'clock and then rolling into that thing. So when you throw that for a loop, or when you throw a curveball at it, it's going to be hard initially, whether it's a half hour earlier you wake up or 4 hours earlier from when you originally would wake up. It's going to be hard. Every time you change something in life, every time something changes in life, it has to get harder before it gets easier. But once you stick with it and once you keep going, that will then build on each other. It will compound, and then you'll look back and be like, why was I not doing this sooner? And so for me, waking up at 4:35, but I'm going to say 5 so it sounds better so you guys don't completely tune me out. Waking up at 5 allows me when I wake up at 4:30, 3.5 hours to myself every single day, uninterrupted. Nobody's texting that early. Nobody's calling that early. I'm not getting emails that early. I don't have to worry about anything other than what I want to achieve and accomplish. So what does that look like when I wake up? Again, if you are going to wake up earlier, it has to be intentional, you guys. It has to be intentional, meaning you have to fill that time with something. If you're waking up a half hour earlier or 3 hours earlier just to scroll your phone, you are never going to want to wake up earlier because you're not going to feel better. You're not doing anything to make yourself feel different or acclimate to a new environment. You're just being like, oh yeah, I wake up early, it's not that great. No. This is time that you solely dedicate to yourself, to work on your dreams, to work on your ambitions, to follow this drive that you have, to start working out, to start implementing water and electrolytes before your first cup of coffee, to go on a morning walk, whatever that looks like. That is what this time is for. So do not just wake up and sit on the couch and watch TV or Netflix or scroll your phone, because that is not the point of this. The point of this is to wake up early to accomplish and achieve the things that you've always yearned for, the things that you've always desired, the things you've always had the passion for, the drive for, the things that inspire you to want to be a better person, to want to be more in this world, to want to give more in this world. And so that time that you allot, that 30 minutes, hour, 3 hours that you allot in that morning have to be productive, and they have to stimulate you in a good way. So be intentional with this. Don't just wake up and say that you wake up earlier now and just scroll your phone. That's not what this is about. This is your chance to spend an hour with yourself in the gym, working out, straining, getting exhausted, getting that heart rate up. This is your time to go outside, smell the fresh air, get the sunlight in your eyes when you first wake up, get that heart going a little bit. This is your time to drink that water and electrolytes before you have that cup of coffee. This is time for you to start that blog that you've always dreamed of, to outline and pivot and do the different things that you need to do to be able to launch that into the world. This is your time to take that step forward in that business idea that you want to create. This is your time to build out and map that mission, that drive, that value of what you're going to offer to your audience. This is your time to journal, to get those thoughts off of your head that you're like, God, when I wake up, why is it so hard to get out of bed? Why do I have to force this person, me, myself, and I, to get up? I want to do all these things, but I just can't get out of bed because my mind won't let me. Yo, we talk about all these things all the time of going to the gym, eating healthy, drinking water. Everybody does. Wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and that's exhausting because it starts first with being able to get out of bed. It starts first with us having the ability to wake up on that first alarm and say, you know what, I'm going to tackle this day. It's waking up on that first alarm and letting that voice in our head, whatever that is, telling us, no, stay in bed, you're sad, you're upset, you're mad. It's waking up on that first alarm so that way that voice isn't as loud the next day. So that way that voice isn't as loud throughout the day. And that people know that have experienced mental depression and anxiety, what you yourself can bubble up and tell yourself and give yourself this false reality of what actually they want you to think is true but isn't. Meaning, if you want to lose weight, there's that voice in your head when you wake up that's like, oh, you want to sleep longer, you don't feel good, You're not going to lose the weight. It's going to be too hard. Just stay in bed. You're already a fat piece of shit. Or it's going to be that person that's like, don't start this business idea. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're doing. Nobody's going to believe in it. You don't even want it. You just think it sounds good. Like, there's always this voice in our head, but then it gets deeper when you mix in mental health, the depression, the anxiety. And I could go down that road, but the people that have experienced that know what it's like to just wake up and be able to get out of bed. To wake up and get out of bed with a positive attitude or mindset. To get out of bed and not have something constantly just fucking pecking at you. And so I'll give you a quick synopsis of what my mornings look like, so that way hopefully you can take some of these things, implement them into your life, or even comment down below what you do, and maybe I can implement them in my life. Again, this is a group thing. This is not just me, but I have the ability to go and project this, and hopefully somebody hears it and they change their morning routine. Or they give me something and that makes me be like, oh man, maybe I should incorporate that in mine. And then I change my morning routine for the better. So a quick bird's eye view. As you guys know, I told you last time, I go to bed about 9 o'clock every single night. And I say about because sometimes it's earlier, sometimes it's later. And then I wake up between 4:30 and 5. It all depends on what my training looks like. As I'm training for this Ironman, it's a lot easier for me to wake up earlier to get my stuff done than say I'm going to do it at the end of the day, because I know I'll make every excuse possible not to get that done. So I wake up 4:35, get out of bed, go and brush my teeth, put my clothes on, head downstairs, grab my DTI blender bottle. If you don't have one, let me know. If you listen to this and you DM me on Instagram, I'll send you one for free. How about that? So if you're listening right now, or if you listen to this episode at all, and you don't have a DTI blender bottle, DM me on Instagram, follow me, and I'll send you one for free. Because hopefully this can be incorporated into your morning routine. But I grab my DTI blender bottle, go out in the garage, start my lift. Fill up my water bottle so that way it's there with my electrolytes in it. I use Element right now, or I use First Form. So either one of those work, Liquid IV, whatever you guys like or prefer. After I get my lift done, which takes about 45 minutes to an hour, I go inside. I start making my coffee. So I put everything in the coffee pot, let it start brewing. And then from there, I mix up my protein shake. That's got my greens in it. That's got my fiber in it. That's got my protein in it. And then from there, I shower up and I do stuff for DTI. You can incorporate journaling in there. You can incorporate meditation in there. You can incorporate a morning walk in there. You can incorporate whatever you want. But those are the things that I focus on. So from me to you, I challenge you to set and establish a morning routine. Do not just wake up, roll out of bed, and go to work. Fucking take a shower, brush your hair, brush your teeth, do the things that you need to do to take care of yourself. Stop making the excuses that you don't have time, and figure out ways to have time that put the energy and attention around the things you want to achieve. Go out there, have the desire to inspire. Always stay positive, even during the hard times, even when it's hard. And just know you will overcome, you will achieve, and you will conquer. Much love. It's on!